Hey guys, this is the Deck Tech. Roshi is in fact here, and today we're looking at the Deck Tech for Rolant's Junkyard. Needles Kane submitted a channel reward, so 15,000 points on my Twitch stream. I stream live Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 8, and randomly on the weekends. And if you hang out, you'll get Twitch points, and then if you redeem those, I'll make a video and a gameplay of your deck. Like I said, Needles Kane redeemed this. This is his deck. We went ahead and updated it and tweaked it, tuned it, you know, into maybe not the most optimal build, but we definitely made it a little more streamlined, something that could ladder with. And very happy with how it turned out. The following will be the deck tech for that. If you want to see more, please subscribe to see this content. And if you have any interest in seeing decks from me, feel free to comment them down below and post them in the Discord. Link for that is also down below. Enjoy. Alright, so Senway's Smuggler gives us access to a pretty solid Stone Scar market. I opted just for some super cheap answers. Popping opponents like relic weapons and shrines for 1 power is huge. Cards like Maiden and Rolant need to die on the spot, and Open Contract helps you do that. So if you've got 4 power, you can slam the Smuggler and play Contract, or curve into it if you will, but that's pretty solid. And then we also want to get our Shrine out of the market too. So our market's kind of overloaded on stuff we absolutely need. Shrine being the card we usually pick most of the time. But we are able to recur our Smuggler with Junkyard, which means we can dip into our market multiple times. And one of the things about Junkyard is it gets kind of clunky. I don't mean like in a bad way, but sometimes you don't always have time to cast all the things you're retrieving. So one of the things I changed was I added these super cheap options to grab from the market so that when you hit that point where, you know, you're bringing stuff back from Junkyard, we have these like really cheap gas cards to hit, and these let us you know, make up for the fact that we're spending 5 power to draw stuff from our void. So that's kind of where that's at. And for Silverblade Menace, it's just kind of wins games randomly. They kind of have to transpose or die, or have Aegis and or die. And we have a decent amount of ways, thanks to Junkyard, to pop Aegis. So not as many as maybe I would like. Like, maybe it could be correct to add a few Two-Faces instead of something. But I have no idea what we would cut, and I don't think it's worth doing that just to, like, blat someone's Aegis for our sideboard card. But it's just something to keep in mind, is that you're not always able to break through the Aegis, but when you do, it's gonna kill them. Especially the kind of decks where you want to be breaking through their Aegis. And then Severin's a house in this deck. Not as crazy as some other decks, but one of the often unused ways to use Piercing Grief is to just use it as fodder. So like Karvet works with it, Burglar works with it, like we can Devour or Combust. So yeah, it's pretty sweet, and between these 3 cards, we're able to regain a lot of life from our market, so that's pretty cool. Jadehorn is pretty self-explanatory, but pledge cards help you keep more hands because you'll just have more power in opening hands. Warcry is probably the worst ability on this card somehow, but it has Warcry, so it can actually be a threat in some matches. And being a 3/3 is huge. There's a lot of 2/3s and 2/2s flying around that this guy blocks handsomely. Coming down, gaining 3 armor, and then even if they kill it, you still have that 0/3 to block with, and then 0/2, or you can chump block. Late game, this is definitely a card to consider when you're getting stuff back from Junkyard, because if you get back Backbreaker and Jadehorn, that is a back-breaking line you can take. Bladecrafter basically just reads fetch Backbreaker, fetch Rolant's Warblade, and that's just fine. We almost never want to pay 6 to sack. You have to be in like a crazy attrition matchup or like really ahead on board if you want to be doing that. For the most part, we just play it for the front half search. We're not even playing that many weapons anyway, but Between the first activation, that's usually enough, and then maybe it lives on the board long enough that we activate it again later, but you don't always have time to be spending 6 power to go get a relic, so just make sure you make good use of the first ability, and then don't be afraid to sack the corrupted half for fodder or just to gain some life. Like, it's okay. Rolant is a house. You play him, and then if he doesn't die, you probably win against like any sort of deck with creatures in it. And he has endurance, so he dodges permafrost. One of my favorite things to do with Rolant is if you've got 5 power, you play Rolant and you play Combust in the same turn, and you just get them real good. And then you could follow that up with Backbreaker, and that's also a backbreaking play. And I talked about Burglar a little bit, but between Burglar, we're able to refill our hand real fast with Burglar. It also has synergy with Wyatt, so if you're able to flip all the way through the Junkyard, if there's ever a time where you need to draw 4 cards, and, you know, let's be real, we always want to just draw 4 cards, we'll go ahead and use Wyatt and have Burglar in play, and it deals 3 damage to your face, and then you'll get Wyatt's ability, and you'll get Burglar's ability, and then maybe end of turn you'll get Wyatt's ability again. So if you're drawing 5 cards a turn, you probably win pretty soon. Probably. And then, other than that, it has synergy with Interloper, because you can late game play Burglar, Anthem your team, play Interloper, Anthem your team again, sack Interloper, Anthem them again, draw 3, and like your whole team is +3, and we're playing a token deck, so that's huge. Other than that, Backbreaker, gain armor equal to your Justice influence, and we're actually a deck that's able to use this ability multiple times, so keep putting Backbreaker into your hand, it's going to keep gaining more influence, like it's going to get bigger every time. Plus, this Jadehorn armor will stack too, so this can get really out of hand to where it's like a 6/15 or something. And then Warblade's a hilarious card. Sometimes in our deck, it's 0 power, kill your opponent's board, and other times it's not. But, you know, we have one, and when it's good, we grab it, and then we can recur it as much as we want. It's also hilarious against Turn to Seed, because, like, the weapons, the creature is still a 5/10. Well, I guess in Turn to Seed's case, it's a 5/12. So even if they seed it, it doesn't really save them from, like, the brunt of Rolant's Warblade. Junkyard, deal 2 damage to their face, draw 2 units, draw 2 weapons, and, you know, last but not least, whenever you take damage, draw a card and discard the other. So much synergy with the deck. We opted to play 4. It makes your deck really annoying to play against any deck looking to go to the late game, because not a lot of people have good answers to Junkyard, and if they're not putting a lot of pressure on you, and you're like pressuring them, and then you play Junkyard on top of that, they're gonna have a hard time keeping up, and like this will blow out their Aegises and refill your hand, so if it goes all the way through, which happens quite frequently, you're gonna start getting card advantage on top of that. So, card seems it ends up doing it pulled its weight, and I was happy to have it. Combust, sack a unit, kill a unit, pretty straightforward. Annihilate, kill a guy, probably kill Milos with. I'd kill him with a nuclear bomb, but I suppose Annihilate will have to do for now. Devour, sack a unit, draw 2, gain 2 life. Just pretty good synergy card. Can't really make room for more here, but it's good. And then Petition helps us get away with all of our shenanigans. So this is the list. It actually works pretty well, and yeah, I had fun with it. Thank you for watching the deck tech for my Rolant's Junkyard. Once again, shout out to Needles Kane for redeeming that reward. This is going to be my submission for Wednesday's The Perfect Toll Brewer's Ball for the Eternal Celebration, so look for that on the Reddit post. Feel free to give me a thumbs up if you think this is interesting. Subscribe if you want to see more, hop in the Discord, or in the comments if you want me to play anything, or if you have any opinions on the deck. Thanks for watching.